Hello, my name's Mark Fry, and today I'll be taking you through some of the end user modeling capabilities in IBM Cognos Analytics. For today, I'm the Chief Product Manager for a company called The Great Outdoors, and the scenario is that we've been seeing some issues with the success of our products recently. I want to uncover those and put processes in place to fix them. I have a small team, and I've decided to give them individual product management responsibilities to help us to sort out these issues. I've put together a draft outline of how I want to allocate the products to them in Excel. I want to validate my thinking and see what I can discover. So let's take a quick look at the data before we begin our modeling process. Here is the data in Excel, and you can see that it is a list of details about the products within our organization, and for each of these I've allocated a product to an individual member of my team. In my last job at another company, I had a similar role, and I had to wait weeks for the IT department to take my outline, import it into their data warehouse, check it was valid, then add it into the formal reporting solution before I could even begin to validate it. Here, I'm using Cognos Analytics, and it means I can add my own data and blend it myself with the trusted, governed, secure corporate reporting solution we have. I'm not an IT person, but Cognos Analytics makes it easy for me to do this myself. My first task is to take the data that I've put into Excel and upload it to my Cognos Analytics server. So I can use the upload files link on the left hand side. Here is the Excel data that we saw a moment ago, and I can simply upload that to Cognos Analytics. So first of all it uploads to the server, then Cognos Analytics analyzes what's in that file, understands how to treat each item of data, gives me the chance to make decisions about which columns to include and which to exclude, and also takes decisions around whether each item of data is to be treated as descriptive or as a measure value that can be aggregated. I'm just going to accept the defaults for this and click on OK. So now I can begin to create a new data module. And a data module is the mechanism by which I can begin to blend my data together and bring together data in that Excel spreadsheet and other sources that I have access to. So I'm going to select uploaded files as my source. I'm going to select the Excel file that we just uploaded and press start. Now here we can see that file that's uploaded to the Cognos server, and I can simply drag that into my data module. As I expand this file, I can see the items of data. Now, to begin with, I have 4 members of my team, and I've decided that I'm going to split them into 2 pairs. One pair to troubleshoot problematic products, and the other to nurture performant products and improve their success. I can select my team member item, and I can begin to create custom groups for the teams that I want to put my people into. My first group is my troubleshooting group, and in this group I'm going to add Alex and Brett, and then the second group is my nurturing group. And I'm going to add Chris and Dana to this group. I will name this team. And I've now created custom groupings to put together these 2 pairs of people within my team. What I can also do while I'm here is to create navigation groups, and these will allow me to move from more summarized to more detailed levels of data later on when I'm doing my data discovery and analysis. I'm going to start with the team item that we just created and create a navigation group based on this. From team, I want to be able to drill down to see the team members within each team, and then for each team member I want to be able to see the products that they manage. So I'm creating essentially 3 levels in this navigation group: team to team member to product. As well as being able to create navigation groups based on custom groups that I've just created, I can also create navigation groups based on the natural hierarchies that exist within my data. So for example, I could start with a navigation group based around product line and then drill down to product type, and from there be able to drill into product. Again, allowing me to dig in to see more levels of detail later on within my analysis. So at this point, I'll save my data module. I can either save it into the team content area into a folder where I could collaborate with others in the organization, or I could save it into the My Content area, which means for now this is personal to me. And at this point I'm going to save it into My Content, and I'm going to call it Team Module. Now, one of the new guys in my team has also pulled together some information from our CRM system around product returns. He pulled the data out of that system and put this into IBM Bluemix in a cloud database called -db. I want to be able to bring this in to see how my product returns are spread geographically and where the hotspots are. So within my data module, I'm going to add a second data source. This is going to be based around a data server, which is a database that I can connect to. And I'm going to go off and connect to that -db database that he put the data into. And I'm going to select the schema within that and press done. So if we now expand that -db database, we can see that there is a single table in there called UK product returns. And it's easy just for me to drag that in to add it to my data module. So now I have data from an uploaded Excel spreadsheet and from a database in the cloud available to me in my data module. What I want to do next is to join these together. I'll select the My Team Products spreadsheet. I'll select the UK product returns table from -db, and with a right click I can join these two data sources together. So from the spreadsheet, I'm going to choose the base product number. From the -db table, I'll also select the base product number. I can preview the data that's coming back from each of these. And the team member that put this together for me mentioned that I'd need to use an outer join or something I didn't quite understand. Then he said something that made sense. Not all of our products have returns, which is a good thing. So he said I'd need to think carefully when I was linking these product returns to my other data. If I go and look at the join type, what I really want to see is all of the rows from my Team products and the matching rows from the returns table. Otherwise, I would only end up seeing rows that existed as returns later on in my analysis. I'm going to press OK. And this has now added in a join or a link between these two objects in my data module. And at this point, I'll save the work that I've done so far. I also need to be able to blend the decisions I made in Excel with our existing Go Sales Cognos reporting package. This is pointing to trusted, governed, reliable data in our data warehouse. IT own it and manage it so I can be sure of its provenance. So I'll add a third selected source to my data module, this time based on a package, and I'll go and select my Go Sales query package and add that as a source within the data module, and then I can drag that package in to give me access to the contents of that package. Again, I need to be able to link the data in my package to the data in my spreadsheet. So I'll select the package, I'll select my spreadsheet, I'll use the option to join these together, and then within my package there are different subject areas I can pick from. I'm going to go and select from the sales area the products, and from products I'll select the product number, and then from my spreadsheet I'll also go and pick the corresponding product number, preview the data from both of these sources. This time we have a one-to-one relationship between the rows for products in my package and the product entries in my spreadsheet. We'll include matching rows only, but this time the cardinality is each entry in products has one entry in the spreadsheet. I'll click on OK to accept that and save the work that I've done so far. Within my data module, I can also turn on the option to view the cardinalities, and this shows me that between my package and the spreadsheet I have a one-to-one relationship. Between the spreadsheet and my UK product returns table in -db I have a one-to-many relationship. because a product could have many returns. I also have an option called Try It, and this allows me to go and test the modeling that I've done so far within my data module, just to make sure that the results look valid and sane. So, for example, from my spreadsheet, I could bring in the team item, and I can bring in the revenue value. And just as an example, from my package, from the sales area, I could bring in the planned revenue. And here now I'm comparing revenue for my products defined within the spreadsheet and planned revenue for my products from the reporting package, but broken down by those custom team groupings that we created earlier on. I'm going to close the Try It window that's allowed me to do some testing. And for the moment, I am going to close my data module. Now I want to begin to validate my decisions, so I'll bring my blended data into a dashboard. So I'm going to create a new dashboard in Cognos Analytics. I'm going to choose a tabbed dashboard layout and a 2x2 template for my dashboard. And I'm going to add my data module as the selected source to build my dashboard from. From my spreadsheet, I'm going to bring in team and revenue values and drop those into the top left cell of my dashboard. And here I can see the breakdown in terms of revenue between the products the troubleshooting team manage versus the products the nurturing team manage. I'm going to pick up the product line from my spreadsheet and drop that into the bottom left cell. And then from my package, I'll expand Go Sales and the sales query area, and I'll pick up the planned revenue and drop that on top of the product lines, giving me a breakdown of planned revenue by product line. Now here it's giving me this information as a column chart, but it's easy for me to change the way this is visualized. I can use the change visualization button and see some suggested visualizations, or if there's something specific I know I want to see, I can click on more, and in this case I'll choose a tree map visualization to display these. So we can see that personal accessories has the largest area for planned revenue, followed by camping equipment. Okay, so thirdly, from my UK product returns area, I can pick up the province and drop it into the bottom right section of my dashboard. And the pushpin icon alongside province tells me that Cognos Analytics has recognized that this is a geographic item. I can add return quantity into that to see a breakdown of return quantity by province. And because provinces in different areas of the world can have the same name, I'm also going to drag in the country item from that returns table to refine the geographic areas. All of the areas within this are based around the United Kingdom and Ireland, and let's expand the map on the right hand side to get a better view of what it's telling us. Now here we can see straight away that there is a returns hotspot in the middle of the UK, and zooming in we can see that this seems to be centred around the North Midlands, so Derbyshire, Staffordshire, and in particular Stoke-on-Trent. The darker the colour, the higher the return quantity. What I'd like to do is to select each of these to make sure that I made the right decisions within my spreadsheet when I was allocating products. So let's select Derbyshire, and what I'd hope to see is that all of the products in Derbyshire belong to my troubleshooting team, because these have high returns and are things that we'd need to troubleshoot, and indeed they do. Let's go and do the same thing for Staffordshire. And again, these all belong to my troubleshooting team, so I'd make the right decisions for these two areas in my spreadsheet. If we click on Stoke-on-Trent, here it looks like I didn't quite get those decisions right within my spreadsheet. So I can see that there's actually quite a large proportion of the products in Stoke-on-Trent that belong to the nurturing team in terms of revenue. So what I'd like to do is to understand which products these are and who they belong to. So now I can use my navigation paths, and for Stoke-on-Trent I can select nurturing and I can drill down. And I can see that the products have been allocated to Dana specifically within the nurturing team. And if we drill down to the next level within Dana, we can see exactly which products are allocated to Dana that have high returns values in Stoke-on-Trent that I would probably need to transfer to someone in my troubleshooting team. Now I can also drill back up again, so I can select my product and move back up the navigation paths, and I can drill up another level from team member. Now notice we still have the nurturing team selected. I can deselect that, and within my map I can deselect Stoke-on-Trent. So really now we're back to our start point, but it's given me some good insight into which products I need to reallocate within my spreadsheet. Within my tree map, I also have the ability to navigate down and up the levels either by focusing on individual product lines or all at once. So for example, I could select my product lines and drill down to the next level and see the breakdown of planned revenue by product type rather than product line. And drilling down again gives me the breakdown of planned revenue by product. I can see that eyewear was the biggest planned revenue earner at the product type level, and within the product level the Starlight product is my biggest planned revenue earner. And again, as before, it's easy for me to navigate back up the levels so that we end up back at the product line level. So having gained some insight from my dashboard, I am now going to save this dashboard. I'll save it into the My Content area and I will call it Team Dashboard. So for now I'm going to close my dashboard. And so far I've validated my work in Excel, but I'm conscious that while I have information on product sales and returns, I have no view on inventory levels. We think we also have an overstocking issue with products, and I want to be able to investigate this. Now, inventory data hasn't been added to our corporate reporting package yet, but the data is available in our data warehouse. I want to be able to do some work around inventory separately and do an in-depth analysis on inventory, but I also want to include some of that information in my team module for my analysis work today. So I'm going to create a separate project for my inventory details and then reuse some of that in our team data module. I don't want to do the work twice, so I'm going to do the work once in my inventory module and then reuse that work in my team module. So let's create another new data module. I'm going to select data servers. I'm going to pick the Great Outdoors Sales connection, which is my data warehouse, and the Go Sales area of that. And one of the really great things that can help me when I'm modeling in Cognos Analytics is the ability for me to enter intent terms that describe which parts of the data I'm interested in when modeling. There are many tables within my data warehouse, and it will be easy for me to get confused and bring in the wrong ones when I'm trying to figure out what's in there and which ones I need. So within Cognos Analytics, I can start typing in terms that describe my intent. So I'm going to enter product and inventory. And based on those terms, when I hit go, it can go and find for me the relevant tables from my data warehouse to include in my data module. So I will select add this proposal, and one of the really nice things it's done for me here is to define relationships for me between these objects automatically, and these have been inferred based on how keys and indexes are set up in the underlying database. So I'm going to save this data module. I'm going to save it into my content and I'll call it inventory module. And this will allow me to do in-depth analysis on my inventory information later on. Now I want to take and reuse some of this within my team data module. So let's close that data module, go back and open up the team module. And we'll add a new source to the team module that's based on an existing data module. And we're going to go and pick our inventory module. And from the inventory module, we just need a couple of the tables. So let's pick up the product and the inventory levels tables, add those into our data module. And just for neatness, I'm going to include the package at the end of the list, move the tables up so they sit below the uploaded file and the table in -db. And now we have our product and inventory levels information available for use in this data module, but you can see from the little linkage symbols that these are actually pointers back to underlying objects in the inventory data module. One of the benefits is later on, if I decide to change the way the data is modeled in the inventory module, those changes will automatically cascade through to the work I've done in this data module. What I do need to do is to join the inventory data to the rest of the data within my data module. So let's select the spreadsheet and the product table from the inventory module. We will join these. From the spreadsheet, we'll choose product number. From the product table, we'll choose product number. We'll generate the result set so that we get a good idea of what this data would look like. We'll set the cardinality as a one-to-one relationship. Each product in the inventory data links to a single product in my spreadsheet. And OK. So now we've linked this data into our data module. Let's save our work in the team data module. Now let's see what happens if we now go and make changes to the inventory data module. So let's close the team module. In my content, let's go back to the inventory module. And within the inventory levels table, let's add a calculation. We'll take opening inventory, closing inventory. We'll create a calculation based on these two, which is opening inventory minus closing inventory. We'll give this a name of inventory change. And we'll hit create. So you can see that we've added a new derived value into the inventory levels table within this inventory data module. Let's go and hit save. So now we can close this data module and let's navigate back to our dashboard. So now within our data module, we've added the ability to do some analytics around inventory levels. So I'm going to edit the dashboard and I'm going to add a new tab to this dashboard with one single cell in there. And let's go and review what our data module now looks like. So you can now see that we've added in the product and the inventory levels tables from that inventory data module, and they're available for me to use here within my data module. So from my spreadsheet, I'm going to bring in product line and add this onto this second tab. When I open up the inventory levels table, notice the inventory change calculation that we added into the inventory module is now automatically included in our team module as well. Let's bring this in and add this to our analysis. In the past, I'm conscious that we've been guilty of overstocking on some items. So what I'd be expecting to see is that stock levels would be decreasing from opening to closing. And mostly that is what I'm seeing. These are all negative values apart from within outdoor protection. So what we're going to do here is to drill down on outdoor protection. And within that, we can see which products have increased or decreased their inventory levels. So of the product types, it's insect repellents that have increased the most. And within that, we can drill down and we can see that within insect repellents, we should be focusing mostly on Bug Shield Extreme and Bug Shield Lotion. Stock levels of these have been increasing, even though we're guilty of overstocking in the past, so we need to look carefully about the stock levels for these products as well, and maybe allocate these to our troubleshooting team. So let's navigate back to tab 1. And here in just a few minutes you can see the value Cognos Analytics has delivered to me, allowing me to bring together some assumptions that I made in Excel, to link that to corporate data in a reporting package, to further link it to data from our CRM system that's been put into DashDB in the cloud, and to bring in data directly from our underlying data warehouse to allow me to validate my assumptions that I made in Excel, to see where products are performing well and not well, and how we can begin to reallocate products to the teams to more effectively troubleshoot and nurture those products. I'm Mark Fry, and this was a demo of some of the end user modeling capabilities delivered to you by IBM Cognos Analytics.